Today we're going to continue following the 6-step process for how to professionally produce music in GarageBand, laid out by The Band Guy, hosted by Colin Cross. We're on video 4 of 6, so just past halfway, and this step is called compression. So let's jump right in.
So our main goals with compression here are going to be getting a little bit more punch out of the drums, getting a little more consistent low end from the bass guitar, getting a little bit more consistency and presence from the guitars, and then getting the vocals to just really sit consistently throughout. So he's never really going too far or kind of getting too quiet. So we're going to start by setting a pretty high ratio. Kind of double what I'm thinking. With drums, I typically am in the 4 or 5 to 1 ratio, so we're going to double it and start at 10 to 1. We're going to keep the attack. We're going to bring the gain back down. I might turn it up in a minute, but we'll start with this. And then we're going to bring it down until we're really hearing the compression. You can see over here that we're getting a lot of compression on that signal. Turn up so you can hear it better. Okay, now we're going to take our attack knob and we're going to bring it up, and then we're just going to bring it down until it squashes it and we don't really hear that initial transient of the kick drum, and then we're going to bring it back.
So I just want to check in on what's going through my mind at this point. First of all, I guess my ears are not ready enough to hear these subtleties, but I don't hear anything changing when he's changing the attack. I heard a subtle difference between the before and after at the beginning of this video, and I know what compression is. I know what to look for, or rather what to hear for. You're just looking for everything to be glued together, as Colin says. Everything just feels like it's more unified, coming out of the same source as opposed to in different areas of the room. So it still feels a little bit ambiguous to me. We will finish the tutorial, but sure, I can follow along in GarageBand myself, but I don't even feel like it's super necessary if I can't even hear it yet. And so I'm conflicted because I want to learn this whole process. I want to learn about compression and all of that, even though we did already one pass of compression of the master track, if I'm not mistaken. Anyways, we'll keep watching, but that's my thought right now. This almost feels unnecessary, and I don't really feel very motivated to go to my track and do this because my track kind of feels fine as it is. Like, if I'm not hearing a difference, why are we doing it? That's kind of my thought right now, but that should probably give you a good idea of how ignorant I am about this whole process, but let's keep going. There's part of me that wonders if these subtleties that he's tweaking even are if they are even conveyed through a YouTube video, or if it's just my ears not picking him up. But I have a feeling that if I were listening to it through his headphones, I could probably hear it a little bit more clearly. It's hard to even understand why it's necessary if you can't really hear what he's doing, but again, we shall proceed. This is the first time I'm hearing clear changes. I heard a little bit of it earlier when he was messing with the hi-hat or the percussion. I'm not sure what it was labeled as. But now on the bass amp, it's very obvious to me. And I think that's because he's bringing the volume out. He's kind of just flattening it a little bit so it's not as jagged of an EQ and it's a little bit more uniform so it could fit easier into the bandwidth. If I had a bass track, which I will eventually on my song, this is very obvious to me why it's necessary, finally.
Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you next week where we're finally putting reverb into this song.
One thing at a time. I can only handle one thing at a time.
I did hear what he was talking about at that last part with the before and after. It is subtle, but it's there and it makes a difference, and it does take it just another inch closer to really sounding juicy and radio ready. So I'm really glad I watched through this tutorial. And I feel like if I were mixing, say, the Happy Birthday William song, this would have come in much more handy. But for now, with a song that has 15 tracks, 10 of them are muted, it doesn't make a lot of sense for me right now. But maybe I'm just not hearing something. Maybe it's because I'm inexperienced with this. But I'm going to just go ahead and skip this step for my own process right now and come back to it when I have more tracks on this song. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next week with step 5 of the Band Guides series on producing in GarageBand. That step is called Effects. I'll see you there.